Aftab Kamal Pasha is in New Delhi. He's an ex-associate dean and professor of Middle East Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Welcome to you. To try and just understand the context of the situation, there was previously a ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, and Benjamin Netanyahu unilaterally just walked away from it without any breaching of it from Hamas. He's trying to now negotiate a subsequent ceasefire deal. Given what he did in the previous deal, and also given that as he negotiates this one, he says at the same time he wants Hamas to be destroyed. Do you believe he does genuinely want to get a lasting peace?
No, I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is interested in lasting peace or lasting ceasefire in Gaza. Like the previous attempt in January, after first phase, he reneged on that. Now he has, in the aftermath of severe airstrikes by Iran and global pressure, including from his partners, emerging partners like Syria and Saudi Arabia, he is under pressure also from the United States. Secondly, having not achieved his goal of getting hostages and also defeating Hamas in the last 20 plus months, you see, the Israeli army also is tired and exhausted because they are suffering daily casualties, dead and injured. It is dividing the Israeli society, and all the external achievements, so-called achievements of Netanyahu, are being watered down by this quagmire, which Israel finds itself in Gaza, where human lives are being lost. So his three main goals are there. One is to get Hamas neutralized, either disarmed or to send them into exile with the help of Egypt and Qatar and perhaps other countries, so that the gas which is available in abundance in Mediterranean, which he has spoken recently, can be awarded for extraction and export. Secondly, he is seriously working for a peace deal with Syria. As you know, President of Syria was in Riyadh and he met President Donald Trump. And I think America is also mediating between Syria and Israel for a durable peace agreement like Jordan and Israel, or Egypt and Israel. Secondly, more importantly, Saudi Arabia also is in the picture. It has been insisting that there should be a ceasefire and end to war, and at least a commitment that Israel will work for the two-state solution. So now if Saudis feel satisfied there is a ceasefire in Gaza and there is a commitment from the United States to work for a two-state solution, the Saudis also will perhaps under the Abraham Accords will normalize relations and extend diplomatic recognition. So he has bigger things in mind under the cover of ceasefire, not exactly to end as the extremist government ministers in his own government don't want a ceasefire, don't want an end to war in Gaza, but he is using this to persuade them to temporarily accept for 60 days so that he can say he has achieved much bigger things. Although in the face of Iranian barrage of missile attacks, his credibility has gone down to a very large extent because Israelis didn't expect to live in bunkers and shelters for more than a week. That has taken a beating, and now he wants to rehabilitate his image in the face of corruption and Iranian attacks and the continued loss of life in Gaza.
Aftab, a key part of this proposal is that even after the 60-day truce expires, all parties would commit to still sitting down and talking about a long-term peace. My argument would be, I think that we've seen both in Gaza and in the Ukraine conflict examples of where one party has sat down and gone through the motions. They make it look like they're negotiating peace, but in reality, I don't think they are. How do you prevent that from happening?
Look, you see, Israel is using the post-ceasefire 60-day period as a facade to continue convincing his interlocutors, whether in Syria or in Saudi Arabia or in the much larger Arab world or Muslim world, to convince that it is serious in the quest for peace, because that will give the impression to the outside world that He is working for a two-state solution. He is working for the rebuilding of Gaza. He is working for all the relief and rehabilitation which is necessary in the wake of, genocide and relentless bombing over the last 20 months and loss of severe lives. And more importantly, Israel's credibility as a democratic liberal state, defying international law, international rules-based order, and public opinion from Europe to America. This is becoming, too much for Israel, too high a price to pay. So they want to soothe the ruffled feelings of the world public opinion so that the process, the facade, the camouflage of negotiations will give the impression that Israel is a serious negotiator and its quest for peace is serious. So this is just a smokescreen for Netanyahu, and he has much agenda in order to fulfill his corruption case, his stay in power and political survival, and also to defeat his opponents and at the right moment call for elections so that he will have a comfortable majority and continue his rule and evading of the severe corruption cases which has involved and tarnished his political image.
Aftab, thank you. That's Aftab Kamal Pasha, Professor of Middle East Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University.